So next one is after completion of terms in surface chemistry: adsorption, absorption, sorption, desorption. So now interactions based on interactions between absorbate molecules and the surface area of the adsorbent, based on interactions between adsorbate molecules and the surface of adsorbent. Adsorption classified into two types. Adsorption classified into two types based on property. The two types of adsorption is, one is physical adsorption. Second one is chemical adsorption. Chemical absorption. So the differences between physical and chemical absorptions are very very important for IP exam as well as objective exam also. So now, property, it is a physical absorption. Actually, physical absorption, it is due to, what is a physical absorption is due to weak forces between adsorbate and absorbent. These are also known as van der Waals forces. So, van der Waals forces are responsible for physical absorption. So now it is the van der Waals. What is a van der Waals forces are responsible for physical absorption. So the next one is, what are chemical forces? So what are chemical forces? So chemical forces are responsible for chemical absorption. These chemical forces are chemical bond, may be ionic or covalent. What is, may be covalent or ionic? These chemical bonds are ionic or what is a covalent. These chemical forces are ionic or covalent. Okay, so it is the classification of absorption, physical absorption and chemical absorption. So now first property is nature of physical absorption. So it is a weak absorption. So it is also considered as van der Waals forces or van der Waals attractions. So chemical absorption is the strong, because chemical forces are present. Chemical forces or chemical bonds are present in chemical absorption. These chemical forces may be ionic or covalent. So next, second one is enthalpy. Enthalpy means simply energy. So this enthalpy is expressed in terms of kilojoule per mole. So now physical adsorption enthalpy is less or very low enthalpy. Its range is 20 to 40 kilojoule per mole inverse. But chemical absorption enthalpy is high enthalpy. Its range is 80 to 240 kilojoule per mole. So low enthalpy, high enthalpy. 20 to 40 kilojoule per mole, 80 to 240 kilojoule per mole. So now second one is reversibility. What is reversibility? Actually, for example, let us consider a absorbent like solid or liquid, not gas. Then absorbate is passed on the absorbent. What are the absorbates? Solid, liquid or gas. So now absorbent absorb the absorbate. So now after absorption, then it is possible to removal or not. So it means reversible or irreversible. It is a single direction process or a double direction process. Only reversible reaction possible or irreversibility also possible. So now reversibility means both forward what is both forward and backward is called reversibility. Reversibility. So now physical absorption is reversible, occurs rapidly. So it is reversible from left to right and right to left, but the process is occurs rapidly, very fast. So now chemical absorption is irreversible. Irreversible means the process which going on only one direction, from left to right or right to left. So it is reversible, it is irreversible. So irreversible, then equilibrium is established, but not equilibrium. So it is occurs rapidly, it is occurs slowly. Occurs slowly. So next one is temperature. What is the effect of temperature on physical absorption and chemical absorption? So temperature, low temperature is favors for low temperature is low temperature is favors for physical absorption. So that is less than boiling point of adsorbate. Less than boiling point of adsorbate. So now the relation between physical absorption and the temperature is inversely proportional. If the temperature increases, absorption what happens? So decreases. Absorption decreases. So absorption decreases with increasing temperature. So relation is inversely proportional. Inversely. But chemical absorption is what is a high temperature is favors. Physical absorption low temperature favors. Chemical absorption high temperature favors. So now it's it is the greater than boiling point of adsorbate. So it is the less than boiling point of adsorbate. So absorption increases with increasing temperature, but physical absorption decreases with increasing temperature. So physical absorption is inversely proportional to temperature, but chemical absorption is directly proportional to temperature. So absorption increases with increasing what is a temperature, increasing temperature. So now specificity. So actually physical absorption is not specific, but chemical absorption is a highly specific. What is a highly specific? So now next one is activation energy. Activation energy. So actually in physical absorption, activation energy is very low, but in chemical absorption, activation energy is high. Activation energy is high. So activation energy is denoted with EA. EA. So now effect of pressure. So now actually if the physical absorption increases with increasing pressure. So physical absorption is directly proportional to pressure, inversely proportional to temperature. But no effect of pressure on chemical absorption. So pressure is negligible on the chemical absorption. Chemical absorption. But what is chemical absorption is directly proportional to temperature, but pressure is not affected. So pressure is negligible on what is chemical absorption. So now example of physical absorption. For example, let us consider charcoal, coconut. What is a coconut? Charcoal. So now it is the absorbent. Let us consider H2 gas or O2 gas or CO2 gas. Hydrogen or oxygen or CO2 gas is passed on the coconut charcoal. Coconut charcoal. So best example of the chemical absorption is what is hydrogen gas is passed on the nickel metal. So now nickel is the absorbent, hydrogen is the absorbate. So these are the main differences between physical and chemical absorptions. So nature, physical weak, chemical strong. So it is due to van der Waals forces, it is the chemical forces. Enthalpy, it is low, it is high, 20 to 40 range, that is 80 to 240 range. Reversibility, it is reversible, occurs rapidly. It is irreversible, occurs slowly. Temperature, temperature is inversely proportional. So low temperature favors, high temperature favors. Less than boiling point of adsorbate, greater than boiling point of adsorbate. Specificity is not specific, it is highly specific. Activation energy is very low, its activation energy is high. So effect of pressure. So now okay, physical absorption is directly proportional to pressure. If the absorption increases with increasing pressure, so pressure is negligible on the chemical absorption. Best example is hydrogen or oxygen or carbon dioxide is passed on coconut charcoal is the physical absorption. So hydrogen gas is passed on the nickel metal is the chemical absorption. So now after completion of this one, so now concentrations of absorption. So actually concentration two types. Based on the concentration absorptions two types, positive and negative absorptions. So now concentration, what is a concentration? What is a concentration? So actually, for example, concentration of what is adsorbate, concentration of adsorbate, adsorbate is greater than adsorbent. What is a adsorbate is greater than absorbent. So it is the positive adsorption. So it is positive adsorption. It is a positive adsorption. So next one, for example, concentration of adsorbate, concentration of adsorbate is less than concentration of adsorbent. The type of adsorption is negative adsorption. What is a negative adsorption? So now based on the concentration, adsorptions are two types. One is positive adsorption, second one is a negative adsorption. If the concentration of adsorbate, what is the concentration of adsorbate means simply solid, liquid, what is a gas, is greater than adsorbent, solid or liquid, is called positive adsorption. If the concentration of the adsorbate is less than adsorbent, that is the negative, what is an negative adsorption. So now next one is mechanism of adsorption. What is a mechanism of adsorption? What is the mechanism of adsorption? Actually, it is the exothermic process. It is the exothermic process. Delta H value is what is negative. So entropy delta S also what is negative. So then delta H value also what is negative.